Hello, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm great. So you want to talk about what brought you in today?
Yeah. I've kind of had a friend who's been going to therapy, and
Mm-hmm.
he had mentioned that he feels it was very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know if there's any like very specific reason. I feel like I'm kind of just kind of in a point in my life where I feel like I'm in maybe in a little bit of a rut, and maybe could I feel like I can maybe get some help just kind of working through some stuff.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I guess I kind of recently I got divorced about actually I should say recently I got divorced a year ago from my now ex-wife.
Okay.
And I have sole custody of the kids as a result of some substance abuse issues on her end.
How many kids do you have?
I have two kids.
Okay.
Two kids, a
Cool.
boy and a girl. They are one is 10 and one is 8.
Oh, great.
They're cool. They're fun. They're a lot of things.
Oh,
They're
of course.
kids. Yeah.
Children are.
Yeah. So yeah, they're great. And I guess I'm struggling a little bit because when I was married and I was their father and the husband and all those things, and now that I'm the single father, it's a little different. I'm not sure. Sometimes I feel like I'm wearing a lot of hats. Sometimes I'm struggling to do everything at once. And I've also begun dating again, and I just don't want it to affect my kids in any way, because kids are very impressionable.
Okay, so I want to get back to the divorce. So
Sure.
you said you guys divorced because you had some substance abuse issues.
Yes.
So does that mean your ex-wife is not currently in your children's picture?
Yeah. She has supervised visits. However, it's been difficult to get a hold of her, which is kind of a recurring thing. We had met when we were in undergrad in college, and drinking and drugs are what brought us together, and eventually what tore us apart. So she wasn't using during either of the pregnancies, which is great. But as soon as immediately after she picked up again, and I had gotten sober about 2 years ago. So once I became sober and she was using, it was a lot more difficult to keep a relationship going. And her using spiraled a lot further as time went on, to the point where the kids would notice, and they were young, so I mean, at the time they were like 5 and 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was tough, but it feels good to be in control, to be able to provide for them and help. So yeah, that was one of the things that was hard, and interestingly enough, in the dating world, it's weird to go out for a drink and have a Diet Coke on someone for the first time, and even in struggling too, like what I tell my kids, like dad's going out to meet a lady, and I don't know if they know how to deal with that. So a lot of times I've just been saying I'm going out and get a babysitter, and I think that's new for them too, because I got divorced about a year ago, and for the first 7 or 8 months I don't think I left once really for anything besides going to the store. I always brought them with me. Yeah.
So you mentioned having a babysitter for the
Yes.
kids. So how do the kids feel about the babysitter, or how have you observed them with the babysitter?
Sure. They seem pretty receptive. When I come home, they usually are. They're very excited when I come home, which is really good. That's good. That makes me feel good. But they don't seem to be having too many issues with it. I kind of I give the babysitter pretty much free reign. I show them the kids' favorite snacks and all that stuff, because I kind of feel like the kids are doing me a favor by letting me go out. So I kind of want to make it nice for them. And also they don't get the babysitter too often, so I figure when they do, it's ice cream for dinner is perfectly fine.
That's funny. So you mentioned dating. So
Yes.
how is that going for you?
It's going. It's very strange. Me and my ex-wife, we've been together for about a decade, a little closer to 15 years. So that was my dating for a while. So that's everything I do is based around that, and those interactions, and things like that. So it was very weird, maybe strange, to look at another woman in a romantic way, which I found to be kind of curious, which I'm still kind of navigating around. And then also it's interesting too, because a lot of the women I've been going on dates for seem to be turned off about the idea of like the instant family, just add water. So that's good.
So do you kind of mention that immediately? You mentioned you have a family and your history.
Yeah, I do. I usually get together, meet, and say, "Oh, so tell me about yourself." Well, I'll say I'm a carpenter. I run my own small business. I have 2 kids. And most people are receptive, but I've gone on a few dates where it wasn't as receptive. But I guess I'm struggling. It's hard to make an identity outside of that. I think that's what's kind of hard.
So you're struggling with finding yourself.
Yeah, that's and I feel like I can't find someone else until I find myself. And even more, maybe find someone to help, no, I shouldn't say help with the kids, but someone for the kids to have, because their mother right now is not in a spot, and she may never be in a spot where she'll be able to, really kind of care for them.
Okay, so would you say you're dating for yourself, or would you say you're dating for your family?
Wow, I never thought of that. I'd say probably a little bit of both, I think. Definitely dating for the family, because I feel that my kids love me and I'm able to provide most things for them. I do feel like it would be good to have like another positive influence in their lives. And I know that they probably feel a void from when their mother had left. And then for me too, I'm just I think that's part of it is to try to identify myself as more than just a father to someone or a husband to someone. But like, who am I? And to my days are pretty much work, go home, feed the kids, do all that, do the schoolwork, learning algebra again with the kids, all that fun stuff. Quite a regret, it's hard. And then just, I think, I guess I feel a void when I think of our family. Like, we're happy, don't get me wrong, but I do feel like there's like a void there.
Yeah, as I would expect that, after you've been with someone for so long and you're used to someone being a part of your family, it can be really hard to cope with someone being gone or
Definitely.
missing from the picture.
Yeah, it's been a real adjustment. Fortunately, my parents have been very helpful, with babysitting sometimes or watching the kids here and there. But I don't want to like rely on them too much too. And I feel that I have a lot of relationships. I've family relationships, with my kids, friends, but I'm missing that romantic significant other type of relationship. So, cause we've been divorced officially for a year for my ex-wife, but the dissolution of that relationship started much earlier. So it does feel like it's been more than a year, I guess. Yeah, it's been some time. So yeah, it's a lot of transition. It's very different. Something I've never really dealt with before. Yeah, and also like the only dating experience I had was when I was 18, 19, in school. And now that I'm like 38, it's a whole new world out there. All these dating apps, all these Tinder and OkCupid,
social media
swiping left and right. Over. It is taking over. It's very it's new. It's weird.
Definitely. So in your dating, have you ever included your children in your dates, like going on a family kind of date?
I haven't. I did think of doing it. My only fear was I don't know. I feel like I'd have to have a bunch of dates, or maybe not a bunch. I feel like maybe I'd have to have a relationship built to a certain level. Because my fear was if I would take them out with the person on a date and then they would grow attached or, meet them. And
yeah,
then
definitely.
If it would dissolve, it would be I think it would be tough on the kids.
Oh, definitely. I can see how that could be of great concern for you.
Yeah.
So in dating, have you found one person you prefer to date more than others you've dated?
Yes. Yes. I met a woman named Anna. I met her online. and we went to a. She actually doesn't. She's sober. She doesn't drink or use any drugs or anything, which actually was part of what made it stick out. So we went on our first date. We went. It's horseback riding, which I've never done before.
Okay.
And I don't know
How'd
if I
you
ever
like
will. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was fun, but it was very very strange, like a car that just doesn't stop bouncing around. Yeah, it was fun. I was afraid. I was afraid. It was good. It was fun though. It definitely got me out of my comfort zone. And she said she'd never done it before, but she thought it would be fun. And I was like, oh, she seems like passionate about stuff. That seems cool. So we've gone on a few dates. We're actually going on a date tomorrow. We're gonna go to the movies and then grab some dinner after.
Okay.
She's really into movies, which is cool with me. It's great because being a single dad, we do a lot of watching movies on the couch with the kids. I've seen all the Disney movies. I can tell you all the scary parts in Beauty and the Beast. So we're running through the woods.
I can imagine. So, how many dates have you guys gone on so far?
We've gone on 4. Right
Okay.
now. 4. So the horseback riding. This will be the 5th. The movies, but they've never really met her. But I did mention to her that if she wanted to come to my place a couple minutes before the movie just to meet the kids real quick before we go, I thought that would be good. So she's gonna come and
So she
meet the
felt
kids.
she was comfortable with
Yeah,
that.
she felt comfortable. She has no kids. She hasn't really been in a previous relationship like that. She'd mentioned a lot of it was because of like substance abuse at the time, but now that she's sober, she's like looking for that.
Definitely. So, what I'm gonna say is, I think you're on the right track. I feel
Thank
like you're finding yourself. You're finding out what you like. You're finding new interests.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great. I also think it's great to maybe get the children involved.
Definitely.
If that's something you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would practice with that, maybe like in your own private time. Kind of becoming more open to that idea, not really wanting the kids to run away from anyone because of fear of them leaving or anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's great. So I guess I'll see you next session.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, thank you.
Thanks, Steve, for coming in.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.